Hello students, welcome to Saurav's classes. Today we are solving the Ctet paper and here we are given a set of questions and we have to solve this question. So now let's start. Here is our first question and the question is, an effective teacher in a classroom where students come from diverse backgrounds. So an effective teacher in a classroom where students come from diverse backgrounds would, and here again 4 options are given and we have to pick up any one option. The first one is saying focus on their cultural knowledge to address individual differences among the group. The second one is push students from deprived backgrounds to work hard so that they can match up with their peers. The third one is ignore cultural knowledge and treat all his students in a uniform manner. And the fourth one is create groups of students with those from the same economic backgrounds put together. Now here option 1, that is focus on their cultural knowledge to address individual differences among the group. Focus on their cultural knowledge to address individual differences among the group is the correct answer. So option 1 is the correct answer. Okay, now let's move on to our next question. Well, the question is here, which of the following statements about cognition, it's cognition and emotions is correct? So we have to find out which statement is correct about cognition and emotion. Cognition and emotion, and here again 4 options are given, and let me pick up a new color. Okay, now cognition and emotion are process. The first one is saying that cognition and emotion are process independent of each other. The second one is saying that cognition and emotions are intertwined and affect each other. The third one is saying that cognition affects emotion but emotion do not affect cognition, and the last one is saying that emotions affect cognition but cognition doesn't affect emotion. Now we have to find out the right one. The correct one is here option 2, that is cognition and emotion are intertwined and affect each other. They are interdependent on each other. So option 2, that is cognition and emotion are intertwined and affect each other, is the correct answer, because cognition and emotion are actually interdependent. On each other. So here option 2 is the correct answer. Now here is the next question, and the question is, in an inclusive classroom with diverse learners. So the classroom is inclusive but the learners are diverse, cooperative learning and peer tutoring, and here again 4 options are given. Okay, the first one is saying that should be actively discouraged and competition should be promoted. The second one is saying that should be used only sometimes since it promotes comparison with classmates. Third one is should be actively promoted to facilitate peer acceptance, and the last one is should not be practiced and students should be segregated based on their abilities. Now here option 3, that is should be actively promoted to facilitate peer acceptance, is the correct answer. So in an inclusive classroom with diverse learners, cooperative learning and peer tutoring should be actively promoted to facilitate the peer acceptance. So option 3 is the correct answer. Now Okay, here is our next question. Well, the question is, a teacher can address diversity in her class by, and here four statements are given, and then based on the statements some options are given and we have to choose these options, correct option. So the question is, a teacher can address diversity in her class by, and here the first statement is accepting and valuing differences, accepting and valuing the differences, using socio-cultural background of the children as a pedagogic resource, using the socio-cultural background of the children as a pedagogic resource. The next one is accommodating different learning styles, and the last one is giving standard instructions and getting uniform benchmarks for performance. So from this some again options are given, and here option 4, that is A, B and C, which are accepting and valuing the differences. The B is using socio-cultural background of the children as a pedagogic resource, and number C, that is accommodating different styles, learning style, is the correct answer. So option 4 is the answer. So that means a teacher can address diversity in her class by these 3 ways. Okay, now let's proceed to our next question. Okay, here is the question. The question is, a teacher asks her class to cover sharp edges of furniture with cotton and use touch and feel notice boards and books. The needs of which category of special learners is she attempting to cater to? And here again 4 options are given. Option 1 is saying that hearing and impaired learner, visually impaired learner, learning impaired learner and socially disadvantaged learners. So from this we can say that option 2, that is student with visual impairment, and they need a range of accommodation that may include visual, tactile and auditory accommodation. So here option 2, that is visually impaired learners, is the correct answer, because students with visual impairment need need a range of accommodation that may include visual, tactile, that may include visual, tactile and auditory accommodation So here option 2 is the correct answer.